Hey everybody, Buffaque again. Tonight coming to you with a real quick, kind of an interesting little video on a knife that otherwise I probably wouldn't have done a video on. This is my Benchmade 319 Proper. This is a knife that I've had for, I don't know, I've had it for a month or so now, and it's a great little EDC blade. But I had something happen to this knife, and it made me think, I guess maybe this would be worth doing a video on. Real quick, just some specs on the knife. It is a slip joint made by Benchmade, and some of you may not even be aware that Benchmade does in fact make a slip joint. But there we go, got to focus. The Benchmade 319 Proper is one of, in my opinion, one of Benchmade's most unique knives because it is a slip joint. You know, most all of their other pocket knives have some kind of a locking feature, and this, of course, is a more traditional kind of a throwback. And I think this is cool because I like seeing knife manufacturers, gun manufacturers, I like seeing people that kind of get out of their comfort zone a little bit. You know, it's great to have a product that is kind of, you know, something that puts you on the market, but once you've established yourself, which Benchmade certainly has, you know, I think it's neat to see a company that breaks out a little bit and does something a little bit different. So when I saw this slip joint knife, I got really excited about it because I thought with where I work, this is definitely something I could always have with me, and if I need to get it out for any reason to use for, you know, whatever task it may be, it's not going to, you know, upset anybody, it's not going to frighten anyone, no one's going to, you know, have any complaints with a small little traditional pocket knife like this. Some specs on it: it's S30V steel, so it's great steel, great quality steel. It's a satin finish, of course. Blade length is about 2.8, 2.9 inches. Weight about 2.3 ounces, so pretty darn light. You know, anything under you know, 3.5, 4 ounces, you're really talking about something that you kind of you could easily forget that you have in your pocket. No clip on this knife. You know, it's like I said, it is, you know, it is what it is. It is a throwback. It is slip joint. I gotta say, guys, it is really smooth. It's got a good feel, a good solid feeling lockup. It does stage halfway. All right, so you've got open, and then you've got that halfway point where it kind of stages and it'll stay there. Okay, and then it closes the rest of the way. And basically, that's just Benchmade's. That's a feature that they've put into the mechanism to save your fingers, so that as you're closing this thing, you don't snip them off. Okay. Handle material, this is micarta, and this is kind of why I'm actually doing this video. The funny little story I have about this knife is my family has a yearly tradition of having kind of this little a bonfire. Usually we always do it right around Halloween. You know, it's a cookout basically. We all get around the fire, hot dogs, marshmallows, you know, things of that sort. This knife, as you could probably already tell, especially from right there, this knife took a dive, and it went straight into the fire. Boom. And unfortunately, I did not realize it had fallen into the fire. I was up close, kind of kneeling over, was you know, cooking a couple of hot dogs, and I had this knife out to open the pack of hot dogs. I'd opened the hot dogs with it, and when I put it back in my pocket, I didn't put it back where I normally keep my pocket knife. I put it back in my front hoodie pocket, which is not a good place to carry anything because hoodie pockets are, you know, notoriously baggy and loose, and you can't really retain anything in them. So as I was cooking the hot dogs and I had leaned over, it just slipped right out of the pocket and went right down into the fire. I heard something. I felt like I had lost something. I heard a sound, and of course the first thing we all look for is, did I just lose my cell phone, or did I just lose my wallet? You know, where I was, no, phone's still in my pocket, wallet's still in my pocket. I thought, well, what was it? I know I heard something. Basically, it took me about, I don't know, it took maybe 20 to 30 seconds to finally find this thing. If you can't tell, this micarta material, it's kind of a dark green. Well, it was kind of a dark green, and in a campfire, it just blends right in. It does not, you know, it was kind of hard to spot. Of course, once I did finally see where it had gone, it was kind of in some coals. It wasn't like it was just, you know, completely gone in the middle of a huge bonfire. I mean, it was very much towards the edge, where I was previously standing, and so I used the little hot dog, the roaster stick, you know, whatever, to kind of scoot it back out of the fire, and I was really frustrated with myself for being so careless to let, you know, such a nice, you know, pocket knife at what I thought was get destroyed like that. And I got it out and you know, tried to brush it off, tried to clean it up a little bit. And honestly, the only thing that was essentially destroyed was the lanyard I had previously had on it. The lanyard melted, of course. You know, it's paracord. But as far as the micarta, I think it looks kind of cool. Some of you may think that's ugly as sin. And I understand, you know, it doesn't look like a new pocket knife anymore, for sure. And before this campfire, it still looked pretty much brand new. But you can see, you know, it's got a couple of serious burn marks on it. That one's the worst. There's one back here on the other side. I think this was kind of right where it must have landed right on a real hot coal or something right in that area, because that got roasted pretty good. Up here towards the front, this got it pretty bad too, as well as right here. But honestly, guys, it's fine. You can't feel it. You don't feel any flaws, or you know, it still feels just as smooth as the rest of the material. You can't feel it at all. The steel, the blade is absolutely fine. It's still razor sharp. You know, I got it cleaned out. You know, the liners are fine. I mean, essentially the knife is still completely fine. It basically just put some scars on that micarta, and I thought it kind of looks neat. Not something I would have done intentionally, but you know, after it happened, I thought, well, you know, that's okay. It's got a story. Dropped it in the fire, and good old Benchmade still does just fine. So anyway, kind of an interesting little story about the Benchmade Proper there. If you haven't seen these, check them out sometime. You may love them, you may hate them. Who knows? It's up to you. But kind of a neat little traditional slip joint that is definitely built very well. Very well. Very, very pleased with this. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it, guys. See you next time.